My name is Seira and I'm 21 years old. I was born and grew up mainly in Hiroshima until graduating from high school, but I've also spent 1 year in the UK between 4 to 5. After graduation, I entered Kobe University and moved to Kobe. My major is international relations and education. On the 70th anniversary of the bombing, I was interviewed as a third-generation hibakusha. I asked my grandmother about her experience through the bombing for the first time in my life. My grandmother often said that she didn't remember much. I thought she might not want to talk about it anymore, or she had forced herself to forget about her traumatic memory to protect herself. Listening to her stories, I actually realized for the first time that I'm a third-generation hibakusha. After leaving my hometown, I noticed that people outside Hiroshima barely knew how inhumane the A-bomb was. This made me feel shocked and felt the responsibility of doing something as a person who has connections with the bombing. Next year, I went on an exchange to Finland, and during the time, I gave workshops about Hiroshima in more than 10 local schools and tried to make connections between Finnish students and Hiroshima. I'm sure this will always be my concern. I will tackle until the day we abolish nuclear weapons. Yes, we are said to be the last generation to actually listen to hibakusha's testimonies. I became starkly aware of that as my grandmother ages. 75 years have passed since World War II, and the population of people who have been directly affected by nuclear weapons is decreasing year after year. This means that people who actually experience the danger of nuclear weapons is decreasing. We should take this fact seriously. If our generation stops learning and thinking about the massive damage that the nuclear weapons caused to people who lived and who suffered, the fear of nuclear weapons will slip away as those who experienced it in real life slowly disappears. It will be a matter of time before another tragedy occurs, since many countries are creating nuclear weapons at this very moment. If we think about the fear of nuclear weapons, global warming, and COVID-19 pandemic, they are all related to the danger of whether we could live or die. Nuclear weapons destroyed bunches of lives in only a second, and until it's gonna be abolished, there's always a possibility for each of us to be affected. In addition, governments could have been able to protect more people from global warming and COVID-19 pandemic if they had used the money for these issues instead of building nuclear weapons. In 2019, the US spent $35 billion on nuclear weapons, and the government is creating more and more to compete with other countries when people are suffering from COVID-19 pandemic. This is insane. These issues are all connected, and we cannot rate the importance between them.